What is good, B fam? Back again with another edition of Record Roundup. Switching things up a bit, talking about someone who had the most potential and talent in possibly UFC history, but could never fully reach all that they had in front of them, and what could have been Uriah Primetime Hall. So let's get into it, y'all. Finding martial arts at a young age due to being bullied in school, Hall would ultimately go pro in 2005 and garner a 7-2 record, with all of his wins coming via finish. One of his losses was to future UFC middleweight champion Chris Weidman, but besides that, there was tons of upside for him and his career. He would go on to join the 17th season of The Ultimate Fighter and was claimed to have some of the most raw potential and one of the most vicious fighters to ever come out of the tough system by Dana White himself. Also, he was told by his coach Chael Sonnen that he currently could beat all of the top 10 contenders in the middleweight division, including the champion Anderson Silva, who many called the GOAT at that time. During his tough run, Hall would go 4-0 with 3 finishes, including one of the most brutal knockouts in UFC history when he landed a spinning hook kick that put his opponent out cold. It is still ingrained in many fans' memories and will always be in the highlights for the rest of time. Going into the tough finale, many thought it was a foregone conclusion that Hall would be the victor when the fight was all said and done. But ultimately, he lost via split decision to Kelvin Gastelum, and that was the first time many saw the future somewhat issues that Hall had, where Dana White himself claimed that he mentally broke and he cracked under pressure. After that loss, he would go 5-2 with most of his wins coming via TKO finish, including his upset over contender Gegard Mousasi, where he would land a beautiful spinning back kick to flying knee combination to win via TKO. After that win, he would go 0-3, losing to future champions and contenders and Robert Whittaker, Derek Brunson, and the rematch to Mousasi. Again, this was the first opening to many fans of Hall becoming gun-shy and not fully living up to his potential and winning those fights. After those 3 losses, he would go 5-1 with his sole loss coming to rising prospect Paulo Costa. And in that fight, even though he lost via TKO, he got props from the fans and one of his biggest critics, the president Dana White, for bringing the fight, showing who he can truly be, and bringing that potential. Among those 5 wins, he would fulfill his destiny and face off against Anderson Silva in his final fight of the UFC and beat him via TKO. After that win, he got a rematch against Chris Weidman and would become the first fighter in UFC history to win a fight without throwing a single strike due to infamously checking Weidman's kick in the beginning seconds and breaking Weidman's leg. After that win, he would get a step up in competition and face some rising prospects in Sean Strickland and Andre Muniz, but he would lose both of those via decision, as he is now currently riding a 2-fight losing streak. Hall is the perfect example of just because you're physically tough and have all the talent in the world, if your mind is not on an equal playing field or equal level, you cannot amount to everything that you hope and dream for. Still truly a great fighter at 37 and not being completely done in his career, I do not see Hall winning the championship like many claimed when he first came onto the tough scene those many years ago. He's a great ambassador and team captain for his gym, and ultimately I think that will be what his legacy is. But again, he is one of the biggest what-ifs in UFC and MMA history, being someone who had all the potential and greatness ahead of them in the world, but could never grasp that brass ring that many had thought that they would get. I hope you all enjoyed this episode of Record Roundup. Please like the video, comment, and subscribe. The B-Fam's growing every day, and I cannot thank you all enough. So So let's just keep growing. All love to everyone out there, and peace.